what happened to our food supply? Any answers? What happened? It got tainted. How did it get tainted?
He decided he wanted to sell it.
All he had to do mass produce it.
Right?
Lots
Mass
of
production.
people, you could
Greed,
buy local.
preserving.
Time was a big factor.
Right?
You didn't have as much time as like they used
Does anybody, do you guys know, I mean, you might have been to the class where I talked about it, but how the whole food shelf life business got started? Were you that class when I talked about that? A couple of you were. I mean, it's interesting. It was wartime, it was World War I, and they're like, how do we make a food so that it can last for months when we're out in the jungles or whatever, and we need to survive? How can we create a survival food? They found that by removing all the nutrients from the plant, that it wouldn't go bad, it wouldn't spoil, and they could live off of that. It was fine for survival, short term when they needed it. When the food companies got a hold of that, ooh-wee, man, it opened a whole new world for them. So that's kind of how the shelf life business got started. All the white flour, the white processed this and that, and so it can sit on the shelves. So we could go and talk forever about what's happened to our food supply. The bottom line, it's been destroyed. Okay, but there are things we can do. There are intelligent choices we can make, and that's what we're going to talk about. So now I'm going to get. That was a very big introduction to what I call high residue versus low residue foods. Okay, and now we're going to get more specific into kind of the Candida fungal issue, which is what this group is supposed to be about, or these classes up until March are supposed to be about. What you'll find when you look at these foods on these lists, some of them will be obvious. Okay, these are man-made chemical junk. Okay, and remember how in the definition of the word poison, the word chemical was used, that exact word chemical. There's a lot of chemicals in our society. There's over 70,000 known chemicals that are in our food. And there's a couple of thousand that they allow in every single year, millions. Okay? And this is big business. I mean, there are literally, I don't know if you guys know this, if you read, which book was that in? Fast Food Nation or I can't remember which book it is, but they talk about how, like for example, in a McDonald's strawberry shake, there's no strawberries in it. It's actually a combination of 200 different chemicals. And there's companies, multinational, multi-billion-dollar corporations up in New Jersey, where they talk about these companies. They're in New Jersey. They're filled with chemists and laboratories, and they're taking different chemical compounds and they're combining them so that they taste a certain way, smell a certain way, they cause a certain reaction in your body, maybe give you a sense of pleasure, or brainwash you, whatever. But yeah, I mean, that's all these companies do. I mean, they can take these 72 chemicals and put together, and it smells like fresh cut grass. And you can put that in air freshener or whatever, Yeah.
I don't know if you heard recently I hate to say the growers, but the guys that make the maple syrup up in Vermont are suing McDonald's in Vermont because McDonald's now has oatmeal with maple in it, and they found out that there is no maple, it's maple flavoring.
Right.
So, I mean, in the state where they make maple syrup, they're like, no, you don't use maple. You get that out, so they're suing McDonald's.
That's awesome. Wow, that's bold of them.
Yeah, it's a maple flavoring, but not maple syrup.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, and they have chemicals that make anything look and taste and smell like anything. All those candles and things like that, I mean, those are all chemicals. And again, it may or may not be a big deal to you, but just understand that that's what's going on. One more thing I want to mention about food before we kind of dive into the high residue, low residue, is I thought it was really interesting. I read this article this one time about this 109-year-old Chinese doctor. And he was a doctor and he was 30. And he practiced medicine for literally like 70 years. And they asked him what the keys to longevity were. 109 years old, still practicing medicine. The guy's like in super duper shape. When they asked him the key to longevity and the key to health, he did not mention food. Food wasn't even on his radar. He said it's my spirituality, my spiritual practice, my family, loving other people and caring for other people and serving other people. It was those types of things. He didn't even list food. Okay? So again, this is a class about food. I'm not here to say that the food you put in your body is not important, but it's not everything. So just don't have that attitude that, okay, I'm going to be healthy, so, okay, tomorrow, no more fast food, no more Cokes, no more sugar, no sweets, no donuts, no nothing, no coffee, nothing. I'm cutting it all out. And that's what people do, or that's what people think they have to do. And that's crazy. That's unrealistic, and it's not necessary.